Good morning, students. So next our topic is, so it is a continuation of yesterday topic, diploblastic and triploblastic organization. Diploblastic and triploblastic organization. Diploblastic organisms and triploblastic organisms. Diploblastic. What is the meaning of diploblastic? Diploblastic organisms. The animals which are having the two primary germ layers. The animals which are having the two primary germ layers. So outer layer is called ectoderm and inner layer is called endoderm. Ectoderm and endoderm. So this is the diploblastic organization. In the cross section of the organism, outer layer of the body of an organism is called ectoderm and inner layer is called endoderm. Outer layer is called ectoderm, inner layer is called endoderm. So between the ectoderm and endoderm there is mesoglia. Okay, there is a mesoglia. Mesoglia is present between the ectoderm and endoderm. Only two primary germ layers are present. That's why it is called diploblastic level. So diploblastic level is present in animals. Example for the diploblastic animals: Cnidaria and Ctenophora. Right? Cnidaria and Ctenophores are example for the diploblastic level of organization. In Cnidarians, only two primary germ layers are present called ectoderm and endoderm. Between the ectoderm and endoderm, there is a mesoglia. Mesoglia that may consist some cells which are jelly-like mesoglia or amoebocyte cells. Some type of cells are present in the mesoglia. For example, in the jellyfishes. In the jellyfishes, mesoglia is jelly-like, which helps in the buoyancy, helping in floating on the water. Mesoglia is jelly-like mesoglia is present in the jellyfishes, which helps in the buoyancy. So here only two primary germ layers are present called ectoderm and endoderm. Ectoderm that gives rise into the epidermis. Ectoderm that gives rise into the epidermis, like outer body wall, outer layer. Ectoderm that gives rise into epidermis and endoderm that gives rise into the gastrodermis. It gives rise into the gastrodermis, which covers the outer lining of alimentary canal, outer lining of the gut. The outer lining of gut, it is lined by the endoderm, gastrodermis. Then body wall, outer surface of the body, it is covered with one layer of cells called epidermis. Ectoderm gives rise into epidermis, endoderm gives rise into gastrodermis in diploblastic level, which is seen in the Cnidaria and Ctenophora. Cnidarians are hydron jellyfishes, Ctenophores are comb jellies. Okay, Cnidarians and Ctenophores are having this level, diploblastic. Next one, triploblastic level, triploblastic organization. So triploblastic organization, the animals which are having the three primary germ layers. The animals which are having the three primary germ layers. One extra layer is formed here. Extra layer is formed in these organisms. That extra layer is called mesoderm. Right? Triploblastic, three primary germ layers. Outer layer is called ectoderm. Then inner layer is called endoderm. Then middle layer is also present, which is called mesoderm. So first time mesoderm is developed in these organization only, triploblastic organization. Example for the triploblastic organisms starting from platyhelminthes, flatworms. Flatworms. So starting from flatworms, platyhelminthes, nematoda, annelida, arthropoda, mollusca, echinodermata, hemichordata, chordata, up to chordata. Platyhelminthes to chordata. All are the triploblastic animals. having three primary germ layers, ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Okay, this one is ectoderm. that cover the outer lining of the body wall. Then endoderm that covers the lining of the gut. Then mesoderm that forms the body cavity. Mesoderm that forms body cavity in some. Okay, mesoderm, ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. 3 primary germ layers are present in the triploblastic animals. Diploblastic only 2 primary germ layers. Triploblastic 3 primary germ layers. So examples are important here. Platyhelminthes to chordata, all are triploblastic. So triploblastic animals, they show the bilateral symmetry. Okay, bilateral symmetry and having the organs and organ system level of organization. Having the organ system level of organization is shown by the triploblastic animals. In the diploblastic animals, only tissue level is present. Cnidaria and Ctenophora, only tissue level is present. But here, organ system level of organization is seen in triploblastic animals. There is advancement by developing one extra layer, which is called mesoderm. Right? Triploblastic and triploblastic organization animals. Diploblastic example, Cnidaria and Ctenophora. Triploblastic examples starting from Platyhelminthes up to chordata. Okay, no? Next. Next one, the important topic is symmetry. Next topic is symmetry. What is symmetry? Generally, animals are having definite body form. The organs are regularly arranged. Organs and organ systems are regularly arranged. In some animals only, the organs and organ systems are irregularly arranged, but most of the animals are there in their body that regular arrangement of the organs and organ systems are seen. Regular arrangement of the organs and organ systems. If one organism divides into 2 identical halves, when we cut an animal into 2 identical parts, it is clearly showing the symmetry. Okay, it is showing symmetry. Antemeres, for example, this is one organism. Okay, so one plane which is passing through the central axis. That can cut the animal into 2 identical parts. First identical part, second identical part, which is also called antemere. 2 antemeres. Okay, now first half, second half. If first half resembles the second half, so this animal showing symmetry. We can say this animal showing symmetry. Okay, now, so how it is showing the symmetry? Due to the regular arrangement of the organs and organ system. For example, kidneys are present here. 2 kidneys are present. So 2 kidneys are present equally distanced from the central axis. They are equally distanced from the central axis. When we cut the animal in the middle or from the central axis, so one kidney goes to one antemere, another kidney goes to other antemere. 2 eyes are present. They are equally distanced from the central axis. 2 eyes equally distanced from the central axis. Then 2 hands equally distanced from the central axis. So regular arrangement of the organs and organ systems, and they are equally distanced. Paired organs are equally distanced from the central axis. Unpaired organs also there. Paired organs, for example, eyes are 2. They are equally distanced from the central axis. Then kidneys are 2. Okay, equally distanced from the central axis. Ears 2, equally distanced from central axis. When we cut the animal, so it can be divided into 2 identical parts called antemeres. Okay, called antemeres. So it is clearly showing that it exhibiting symmetry. Symmetrical animals, they show the regular arrangement of the body parts. So paired organs are equally distanced from the central axis. Unpaired organs are mostly located in the center. Unpaired organ, for example, nose. Nose is unpaired organ, only one. It is mostly located in the center. When we cut, it divides into two parts. Then mouth. Mouth is also unpaired organ. Unpaired organ. It is present in the located in the center. So when we cut, it divides into two identical halves, two parts. Paired organs are equally distanced from the central axis. Unpaired organs are present, located on the central axis. So regular arrangement of the organs and organ systems. If regular arrangement of the organs and organ systems are present, so that animals clearly showing the symmetry. Those are called symmetrical animals. Symmetrical animals. If definite body form is not present, if definite body form, for example, sponge, in the sponge there is no definite body form, there is no regular arrangement of these cells. One side it is very large size and other side very small size. Size is different. When we cut this animal, it cannot be cut into two identical halves through any plane which is passing through the central axis. Those are called asymmetrical animals. Asymmetry means the body cannot be cut into two identical halves through any plane which is passing through the central axis. The body cannot be cut into two identical halves through any plane which is passing through the central axis is called asymmetry. So asymmetry is not an advantage to the animals. Asymmetry is not an advantage to the animal. This is sponge. This sponge, when we cut this animal, this sponge in this axis or this axis or this axis. Okay, any plane which is passing through the central axis, it cannot be cut into the two identical halves. Those are called asymmetrical animals. So example for the asymmetry, sponges, porifera, sponges are example for the asymmetry. It cannot be cut into two identical halves. Okay, asymmetry, it cannot be cut into two identical halves. Asymmetrical animals. Then symmetry. What is symmetry? In the symmetrical animals, definite body form is present. In the asymmetry, definite body form. So definite body form is absent. Lack of definite body form. There are irregular arrangement of the systems, organs and organ systems, or cells are irregularly arranged. Definite body form, it is absent. In symmetrical animals, definite body form is present. Definite body form is present. So organs and organ systems are regularly arranged, and paired organs are present. Paired organs are equally distanced from the central axis, and unpaired organs are located mostly on the center. On the center, unpaired organs are present, so they have the definite body form, called symmetrical animals. Symmetry, they are showing the symmetry. So symmetry is of different types. Okay, the symmetry is of different types, like radial symmetry, biradial symmetry, then bilateral symmetry. Look at the radial symmetry. First one, radial symmetry. Radial symmetry is also called as monaxial heteropolar symmetry. Radial symmetry is also called as monaxial heteropolar symmetry. So this radial symmetry, it is present in the cnidarians, cnidaria and ctenophores. Cnidarians and ctenophores, mostly cnidarians. Cnidarians, they show the radial symmetry. What is the meaning of radial symmetry? So take one example, hydra. Hydra is a cnidarian. Hydra and jellyfishes also. So hydra, it can be cut into two identical halves through any plane which is passing through the central axis. The body of the hydra can be cut into two identical halves through any plane which is passing through the central axis. Here central axis, for example, this is hydra. Okay, this is hydra, central axis, oro-aboral axis. Axis name, here axis name is oro-aboral. Oro-aboral axis. Oral axis, the axis which has the mouth. Aboral, opposite end. Oro-aboral. Again, oro-aboral axis. One axis which covers the oral axis, which touches the oral axis with the aboral axis. Oro-aboral axis. So any plane which is passing through the central axis, that can cut the animal into the two identical parts. Okay, two identical parts, which is called radial symmetry. Okay, single axis here, single axis. What is the axis name? Axis name is oro-aboral axis. Oro, mouth side, aboral, opposite side. Oro-aboral axis. Heteropolar, hetero means many, different poles. Poles are many poles. Okay, so this is a hydra. Oro-aboral axis. Then planes or poles are many. This plane, this plane, this plane, any plane. Any plane which is passing through the central axis of the hydra, that can cut the hydra into the two identical parts. Okay, two identical parts. If we cut the hydra in this direction, okay, so it can be cut into two identical halves. In this direction, it can be cut into two identical halves. Any plane which is passing through the central axis, that can cut the hydra into the two identical parts, which is called radial symmetry. It is called radial symmetry. So it is called monaxial heteropolar symmetry. Monaxial, single axis, heteropole, poles are many. Single axis but many poles. Or any plane, many poles, or any plane that can cut the animal into the two identical halves, called radial symmetry. So example for the radial symmetry, cnidarians, hydras and jellyfishes. Jellyfish also, jellyfish, it is umbrella shaped. Jellyfish, okay, umbrella, it is present like this, umbrella, then umbrella stick. This is central axis, oro-aboral axis. When we cut the umbrella into two parts, which is passing through the central axis, okay, which is passing through the central axis, it can cut the umbrella into two identical parts. This plane, this plane, this plane, any plane that should be passing through the central axis, not in the cross section. Okay, that should be passing through the central axis. Central axis means here the stick of umbrella. Okay, so that should be passing through the central axis. That can cut the animal into two identical halves. Same jellyfish also. So jellyfish that can be cut into two identical halves, which is passing through the central axis. The axis name is oro-aboral axis. Oral axis, which is present at mouth side. Mouth, aboral, opposite. Here mouth is present. Oral, aboral. Oro-aboral axis that can cut the animal into two identical halves, called radial symmetry. Examples are important. Cnidarians, hydras and jellyfishes are example for the radial symmetry. Okay, hydras and jellyfishes. Then biradial symmetry. One more is there, that is biradial symmetry. Biradial symmetry. Biradial. In the radial symmetry, how many planes are present? Many planes. But in the biradial symmetry, only two planes. Axis, only one axis, oro-aboral axis. Okay, biradial symmetry, axis, only one axis, that is oro-aboral. Oro-aboral axis, but planes are two planes are only two. In radial symmetry, many planes or many poles, but here only two planes, which is called biradial symmetry. So example for the biradial symmetry, sea anemones and ctenophores also. Ctenophores are comb jellies. Sea anemones and ctenophores. Sea anemones that belongs to the phylum Cnidaria, and ctenophores are the comb jellies. Sea anemones and ctenophores are example for the biradial symmetry. Right? Radial symmetry, biradial symmetry. What is the meaning of radial symmetry? The body can be cut into two identical halves through any plane which is passing through the central axis. The axis name is oro-aboral axis. and planes are many planes that can cut the animal into two identical halves. So this radial symmetry, it is advantageous to the animals which are slow moving. Jellyfish is a slow moving animal, sluggish, very slowly, it moves very slowly, slow moving animal. It is advantage to the slow moving animals, sluggish animals. And all the organs, jellyfish is present like this, okay na? So umbrella shape, organs are equally distributed, okay na? Organs or cells are equally distributed around the body. Around the body, organs are equally distributed. Sense organs are not only present here, here, like total surrounding the body, sense organs are present. That's why it can sense. If any danger comes from all directions, it can respond to the stimulus which is passing from all directions. If any danger or stimulus is coming from this direction, it can respond. This direction, it can respond. This direction, it can respond. So it can respond to the stimulus which is coming from all directions. It is advantage. In the radial symmetrical animals, one advantage is there. Okay, na? So advantage is they respond to the stimulus which is coming from all directions. If any fish try to catch the jellyfish, if it is coming from this side, it can respond, or coming from this side, it can respond. So from any side, it coming from any side, it can respond to the stimulus and it can escape from that area. That is the advantage of radial symmetry. Okay, na? Slow moving or sluggish animals, sluggish animals, it is advantage. Radial symmetry is advantage. Next, bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, it is seen in platyhelminthes. So from platyhelminthes up to chordata. Platyhelminthes to chordata, which are triploblastic. These are also triploblastic and organ system level of organization. Platyhelminthes to chordata, triploblastic, 3 primary germ layers, triploblastic, and organ system level of organization. Triploblastic, organ system level of organization is seen in platyhelminthes to chordata. Also exhibit the bilateral symmetry. What is the meaning of bilateral symmetry? The body can be cut into two identical halves through only one plane, which is passing through the central axis. Okay, which is passing through the central axis. The body can be cut into two identical halves through only one plane. The plane name is mid-sagittal plane. The plane name is mid-sagittal plane. Okay, mid-sagittal plane, and axis name is anterior-posterior axis. Anterior-posterior axis. Okay, anterior-posterior axis. Mid-sagittal plane, anterior-posterior axis. If you see one fish. Okay, so here anterior-posterior axis. Anterior side, posterior side. The line which connect the anterior side with the posterior side is called anterior-posterior axis. Through this axis name is anterior-posterior axis. Okay, anterior-posterior axis. And plane is mid-sagittal plane. Okay, so if we cut the animal through the mid-sagittal means in the middle center. Fish is present like this, anterior-posterior axis. If we cut the fish through the anterior-posterior axis on the midline, it can be cut into two identical halves. So two eyes are present, this side one eye, this side one eye. Okay, this side one eye, this side one eye. Same like that, fins are equally distance. Then visceral organs like alimentary canal, then organs are also equally distance from the central axis. So when we cut the fish in the middle, or on the mid-sagittal line, it can be cut into two identical halves, two antemeres, two halves. Same human beings also. So human beings also can be cut into the two identical halves. Okay. So this plane is mid-sagittal plane and axis name is oroaboral axis. Anterior-posterior axis. Axis name is anterior-posterior axis. Eyes equally distanced from the central axis. Nose is located on the center. Then hands, two hands, legs, two legs. Then heart is present in the center mostly. Then lungs are equally distanced from the central axis. Kidneys equally distanced from the central axis. So this axis is anterior-posterior axis and plane is mid-sagittal plane. The body can be cut into two identical halves through only one plane, which is called mid-sagittal plane, and axis name is anterior-posterior axis that connect the anterior side with the posterior side. It is called bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry is exhibited by the animals starting from platyhelminthes up to the chordata. Platyhelminthes to chordata, they exhibit the bilateral symmetry. And one more advantage is present in the bilateral symmetrical animals. One advantage is there, that is cephalization. Cephalization, concentration of sensory cells. Sensory cells and nerve cells at anterior end of the body. Concentration of the sensory cells and nerve cells at anterior end of the body. Take one example, fish. Okay, anterior side. This is anterior side, posterior side. Where the brain is present in the fish, brain is present at anterior side only. Okay, so in the head only brain is present. Brain means that consists the sensory cells and nerve cells. More number of approximately 10% of sensory cells and nerve cells are located at anterior side only. Okay, anterior side only most number of sensory cells and nerve cells are located. The most important sensory cells are located like brain at anterior side. So concentration of the sensory cells and nerve cells at anterior end of the body is called cephalization, or formation of the head. Formation of head or concentration of sensory cells and nerve cells at anterior end of the body is called cephalization. What is the advantage of the cephalization? By concentrating sensory cells and nerve cells at anterior end of the body, so first into the new environment. So this is new environment. Into the new environment, the first part entering into new environment is anterior part of the body only, not the posterior part. Okay, anterior part of the body only enters into new environment. That's why it can sense more effectively. It can sense more effectively with the help of the sensory cells and nerve cells to the first part, like a new environment. If sensory cells and nerve cells are present at posterior side, what happens? Anterior side enters into the new environment, but without knowing any danger which present in front of it. Okay, it can be captured by other fish or other animal. That's why the sensory cells and nerve cells are concentrated at anterior end of the body to sense more effectively with new environment. If any large fishes are present here, so it can identify with the help of sensory cells and nerve cells and escape from that area. Okay, escape from that area. So for protection it is required. Concentration of sensory cells and nerve cells at anterior end of the body is required for the protection itself. So it is advantage. Cephalization is formed. It is developed in the platyhelminthes to chordata in bilateral symmetrical animals only. It is advantage to escape from the danger. Okay, so what is cephalization? Concentration of the sensory cells and nerve cells at anterior end of the body is called cephalization, which can sense more effectively with the new environment to escape from the predators or other larger animals. Okay, cephalization, right? Bilateral symmetry. Asymmetrical animals without showing symmetry. Example, sponges, asymmetry. Then radial symmetry, Cnidaria and Ctenophores, radial symmetry. Biradial symmetry exhibited by the sea anemones and also Ctenophores. comb jellies. And one more is there, that is pentamerous radial symmetry. Pentamerous radial symmetry. Pentamerous radial symmetry is exhibited by the starfishes, Echinodermata, starfish. So secondarily they exhibit the pentamerous radial symmetry, starfish. The body can be cut into two identical halves through 5 planes which are passing through the central axis. First one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one, which is passing through the central axis. First plane, it can divide the animal into 2 identical parts. Second plane, divide the animal into 2 parts. Third plane, fourth plane, fifth plane. So 5 planes that can cut the animal into 2 identical halves, which is called pentamerous radial symmetry, shown by the adult echinodermats like starfishes. Larvas, they exhibit the bilateral symmetry, but starfishes, adults, they exhibit the pentamerous radial symmetry. Okay, na? Pentamerous radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, the body can be cut into 2 identical halves through only one plane, which is called mid-sagittal plane. And cephalization is a feature of bilateral symmetrical animals. Concentration of sensory cells and nerve cells at anterior end of the body is called cephalization. Example, platyhelminthes to chordata. Right? Symmetry.